Zen Ray here. Welcome, Nick Nation. I'm back again after a 2 hour and 40 minute broadcast another night, couple of nights back with Millie from Soap Gods TV and from Juby to Tubi, family above everything. Just want to thank everybody, and I apologize for being on so long. We had a lot of good questions from our audience and Nick Nation, so I couldn't just turn back the clock and not answer the questions. So Obi. So the question is, Nick Nation, Obi to move up for the number 4? Let me know. We'll be back to discuss these matters. Obi to move up number 4 to get Ivy. Wow. Stand by.
Never give up. Never give up. Knowing that the best is yet to come with love, peace, and gratitude.
Welcome back to Zen Ray Sports TV. So we'll be discussing a lot of the news and rumors out here in Nick Nation. A surprising Obi to move up for number 4. When I heard that, I can't believe that Leon Rose would do something like that. A lot of Knicks Nation is saying, yes, trade. You have to trade something to get something. For me, we have something in Obi. In 2 years, we know what he's made of. We know what Jaden Ivey is all about in college, but he doesn't have the pedigree yet in the NBA. Do we flip the switch and try to make this trade and lose Obi Toppin? I don't know, Nick Nation. We'll be on with Juby the Tubi, family above everything. I don't think that Leon Rose would go to take 2 steps back to try to move 1 foot forward to get Ivy, even though Ivy is projected to be the star. Give me your opinions. We like to hear from you, Nick Nation. I had a lot of good conversations with Henry and some other people chatting back and forth with the comments. I know that Mike and Prezi was the winner of the contest. They haven't contacted me yet. I'll give them the information. Hopefully they come on so we can get them their T-shirts and cap. But besides that, I want to thank everybody who's been subscribing and watching me. But getting back to getting rid of Obi Toppin, Juby the Tubi, family above everything. Give me your opinion, man. Obi Toppin? I don't like it, if you ask me. I don't think Leon Rose would do it. What do you think, Juby?
Salute to you guys at Zen Ray Sports TV. Thank you for having me on today. And I just wanted to say, I know you already said it, Zen Ray, that what a great show the other night with Millie and yourself and myself. Great comments from everybody. I know we appreciated the interactions, and we look forward to more comments to come. But back to this, I don't want to say breaking news because it's all speculations and it's all rumors until it's the done deal. But like you said, the latest deal is Obi that Sacramento will be willing to listen to the Knicks offer if it includes Obi Toppin, this year's number 11 pick, and I believe the Dallas Mavericks next year pick in a second round. I believe.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. I heard Obi was in the deal and they would take 2 number 2 picks.
Yeah,
and I heard that much. I didn't hear about the 2 number 1s that Dallas.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think they were asked for Dallas's pick plus the 2 second rounders and Obi, from what I'm hearing. I don't think Leon Rose is going to do it. We need to keep the nucleus. I'm going to give you an example why. One of the reasons why the Knicks wouldn't do it. Just watch this, ladies and gentlemen.
Also a 6 boards. Quickly drops Maxey. Pointed to the Looking for another double-double. Has time to do so. There it is.
Quickly counted and the
That's the reason why.
Biggest lead of the night for the Knicks. They trailed by 10 in the first quarter, so a 30-point turnaround. Make it 33. Quickly from 3 again. He celebrates.
Quickly.
Gibson 5 boards
one
off
major
the bench.
reason.
Clippers are a
Break
step
up
slow
and
right
duel.
now.
Quickly from downtown.
For the Knicks
Bang! Emmanuel quickly
That's one
once
reason.
again.
Second reason.
Get it. Sims hauls down the rebound.
To do his last
I
play
keep it
here.
Heard, head up, eyes wide open.
Oh, nice switch to the left hand. Sweet move from Emmanuel quickly. Quickly with a rebound. Knicks will perhaps try to go 2 for 1 here. And that's exactly what Quickly does.
Man.
Nails a long
This guy
three-pointer out by the logo.
consistent basis,
As
man.
Quickly
So that's one reason I say the Knicks don't do it, because of that quickly Obi combination. When they're on the floor, they make things happen. The second reason is we know what we have in Obi. 2 years developed by us. You saw what you saw from him and what he can do for the team in the last 10, 12 games. That's number 2. Number 3 is Ivy. Yes, he's supposed to be this next coming superstar, like a Westbrook, Ja Morant type, but he hasn't proven anything in the NBA. Do you take a chance by giving up one of your assets? I don't mind giving up like some veterans we have. I don't mind giving up some picks maybe, but to give up Obi Toppin would just destroy the foundation that the Knicks are trying to build. I know I've spoken or commented with people that you have to give. You can't say RJ, Quickly, and Obi on untouchables. You can't say that. You know, you can't be churning the same team over and over again and not doing anything about it. I understand those comments as well. But Leon Rose's philosophy, Juby, is we're building a foundation and we're going to do what the Memphis Grizzlies been doing for years, what the Boston Celtics been doing for years. And that's why. And by the way, congratulations to the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, that's
it in
good.
6 the way you said it,
Chef
Juby.
Curry.
I
Chef
picked
Curry.
Boston in 7. Congratulations to the Golden State Warriors. I don't think a lot of people wanted to see them win again, but they did beat our rivals in Boston, so I don't mind it too much. So congratulations to the Golden State Warriors. So getting back to Obi, I say a no. What do you think, Juby? You think that Obi will be involved? You think Leon Rose is going to involve Obi in any kind of trade to move up in the draft?
There's a couple of factors in this, Ray. We may not agree with it. You know how I feel about Obi Toppin. To me, Obi Toppin is the one of the future stars of this team in the next year or two. So I would not move that guy whatsoever. But unfortunately, I have a feeling that management is going to start to feel the pressure of New York City. I know you don't. You know, we say Leon Rose we trust, and you know it's a process. It's a waiting game. But at the same time, we don't know what we're getting with this franchise and with management yet. I know we're kind of, and Millie said it the other night, we don't know if we're in a rebuilding foundation or if we're trying to compete now. We're kind of stuck in limbo.
I think we're in the combination of both. That's what I think, Jube. I don't know. Can you do that? Can you build and try to win at the same time? Memphis did it. Memphis was building.
You can if you're competitive. You can if you're competitive. But you saw last season we missed the playoffs, and just watching those highlights of Quickly right now makes me realize how much I miss Knicks basketball.
You know how I feel about Leon Rose. What's the reason why the Knicks just fell off the face of the earth last year? I mean, they didn't even make the 10th, 9th consolation to get into the playoffs.
The coach.
What's the reason? Thibodeau. I mean, I'm not a big Thibodeau.
Here's what I'm gonna say to you. This is where I think the unfortunately, and I'm gonna knock on wood, Nick Nation, and I'm gonna say I'm wrong, and I would love to say I'm wrong. Here's where the pressure of Tom Thibodeau to go to Knicks management and say, "Listen, Julius is my guy. I want Julius here. Obi Toppin is good, but it's not going to work with these two guys, and we need to get this guy Ivy." And this is just from a Tom Thibodeau perspective. This is not from me saying we should do this. I agree with you guys 100%. We should stand pat and take the best player available, that's in the draft. But unfortunately, Tom Thibodeau is the head coach until the near future. We'll see. And you saw it took Julius Randle's episodes and PR moves and us being out of the playoffs to really see Obi Toppin come to get into those minutes. So what I'm trying to say is, if you left it up to Tom Thibodeau, he'll pick Julius Randle over Obi Toppin any day of the week now.
No, I totally agree, and that could be the downfall of Thibodeau, because Leon Rose made a trade for Cam Reddish last year, and it really didn't. Thibodeau didn't like it at all. Thibodeau said, I mean, he made a trade, and Thibodeau had no clue why he's there, and that's one of the reasons Cam Reddish didn't play. He was trying to show and say, Leon Rose, look, I never had plans. I never asked you for him. You want me to plug a guy that in the system that's where things started going haywire. Now, who is the boss? I mean, Thibodeau has to understand your job as coach is not only the substitution patterns, it's to make your players better and to give them confidence. And I don't think he gave any ounce of confidence to Cam Reddish last year. And by him getting injured, it was like, okay, we traded a number 1 pick, like Prezi said in our other show, and we really didn't get anything in return in terms of talent because Thibodeau didn't give him the light of day. So now I'm hearing, Juby, the 11th pick, Abaji from Kansas. What do you think about him, man? He's supposed to be. He's like, okay, Mathurin hasn't worked out for the team from what I'm hearing. Is Mathurin like a secret last-minute weapon? I don't think the Knicks can get him anyway. They're gonna have to move up in the draft, and I think he'll be gone by 7th, even if they trade up to Portland and try to pick up. Try to trade Randall to the Portland Trailblazers and try to move that spot. I think Mathurin could be gone by then. Can Sohan fall to us? Can Johnny Davis fall to us? Can Adrian Griffins fall to us? Agbaji, I'm not big on him later in the draft for me. Yeah. Mikal Branham, I mean, I like him. You can get him later in the draft as well. But if I had a choice, Adrian Griffin, if he drops to us, we have to take him. Abaji, you're gonna have to move out of that spot, I would say. Get 2 other picks in the draft, possibly, and trade that 11th pick and try to get 2 other talented players like Eason. I'll probably go for maybe an Abaji, maybe a Branham. I'll go for, but the Knicks have to form a plan because right now it doesn't look too pretty. The Knicks have competition. In our last show, I was saying Oklahoma. Now I'm here. There's 5-6 other teams that want to move up and get Ivy. And to make this straight, I was asking a couple of people, Scooby Doo, and forgot the other gentleman's name in our last show who are from Sacramento. And I was asking them, what's the reason why Sacramento wouldn't pick Ivy? Now, into more investigating in the last couple of days, he doesn't want no part of Sacktown. No. So it looks like Keegan Murray will be the pick, or their best option is to try to trade that pick and get a couple of picks in the draft to build for the future. What do you think, Juby? You think that, Jaden Ivey is something the Knicks have a shot for? Do you think the Knicks standing still at 11 can move out of that draft? What do you think with all this stuff going on, all these rumors? If you were a betting man, would you say the Knicks move up to number 4 and get their guy?
No. If I was a betting man, I say that the highest the Knicks go, if they move up, it will be to the 7th with Portland, which gives them an opportunity, to see if AJ Griffin is there. I think they would take him and move up to the 7th pick and try to trade with Portland. But if not, I think they stand pat or move out of the 11th pick. We're hearing so many rumors. Just to touch up on that, Habaji, he averaged 18 points, shot 40% from 3-point range, shooting guard. But is that something? He's a good player, but
he plays defense. But he's a Thibodeau type guy. He plays very, very good defense.
And that's what scares me, is that he's a Thibodeau guy. We also heard another name of Usman Dang that they're interested in as well.
Let me pull up some of his pro day workout. I heard the same thing. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let's see. Let me see. I don't know, man. I don't see a lot of. Now he plays.
No.
Wow. If this is what they're projecting the Knicks to pick up 11, I'm not like. I don't believe in number 1 because they didn't work him out. They didn't try him out yet. But this Usman Dang plays for the New Zealand Breakers. He averages 8 points a game, 1 assist, 3 rebounds, and he shoots 40% from the field.
He doesn't look athletic. Like he doesn't have a. To me, based on this video that I'm seeing right now, it doesn't look like he has a really quick first step. It looks like he's a Quentin Grimes, which we already have that on the team.
Listen, I don't know. This is like rumors. The Knicks haven't worked out Mathurin. Is that I don't know why the Knicks haven't worked them out yet. Maybe they'll work them out in the next week or so. And Sohan, I'm hearing he's coming in to work out for the Knicks. That's the rumor I'm hearing now. Can Sohan fall to us at 11? Because right now, realistically, I don't think if the Knicks move up to 7, this is what I'm scared of. That they end up picking Dyson Daniels because he'll probably be available, and they'll pick Dyson Daniels over Adrian Griffin. That's my fear. Thibodeau loves these defensive guards, 6'7", that can pass, but he can't shoot. So. And we have Quickly, we showed some film of Quickly what he can do when he's given the opportunity. And we have Deuce McBride that he's going to showcase himself this summer in the Summer League. Right. So this Usman Dang, I think it's all smoke, man. I don't think he is anywhere close. They haven't even worked them out. So whoever reported that, I don't think it's going to happen, Juby. I'm looking for the Knicks to do something spectacular. And if you stay with Abaji at 11 and don't do anything else until your 42nd pick, I think the Knicks are going to move the needle. Can Millie be right? Accumulate some assets, maybe go for Donovan Mitchell? Because I've been hearing reports about Donovan Mitchell.
He was in Citi Field the other day hanging out with the Mets again, and they try to talk to him, the reporters, and ask him about the Knicks, and he kind of just smirked and walked away. I don't know if you guys caught that. I'm not saying there's nothing behind it. I'm pretty sure every time he comes to Citi Field, he gets asked, when you're going to come and play here. So he's probably tired of it. But we all said it the other day, Zenray. Utah has the silent assassin, Danny Ainge. The guy is known to take heads. And if you think Sacramento is going to ask for a lot, Danny Ainge is going to ask for the house. So we don't want to go back to that. I think you hit it right on the mark, Zenray. I think Ivey's a spectacular player. I think AJ Griffin, if he's there, I say go after him and try to move up to 7. That'll cost you, but it won't cost you as much to move up to the 4th. And unless they can do a 3-way trade and then try to make and pull something that we never heard of before, Julius going to Atlanta, and something we've been hearing about that a lot as well.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. I think one of our comments last couple of days in our show anniversary day a couple of days ago, somebody mentioned that we can involve another third team where we can get probably Julius out of here. Look, at this juncture, I'm looking at no one wants Julius Randle. It looks that way. And if you see him working out, it seems like the Knicks promised him something. I think he may be coming back. And the question is, how are you going to institute Obi Toppin and Julius Randle together? Is that a possibility? We'll find out. And if Thibodeau doesn't change his substitution patterns and you still have Brooks on the team, you're losing out a lot of young kids getting playing time. So there has to be something where even if Julius stay, you have to get rid of Fournier then and Burks. I mean, you can't stay with all these veterans. I'm hearing Rose Rose and all the veterans are being shopped around. Nerlens Noel, latest news that he's being shopped around.
For the second rounder, I'm hearing.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that Mitchell Robinson may not sign with the Knicks, and the Knicks are looking for I might eat crow, Ayton coming from Phoenix, because he's not happy with that because some contract agreements, and Phoenix says they're willing to trade him and let him go. So they have no interest in him at all. Wow. So there's some kind of contract dispute. So can the Knicks take advantage of that? Flip Mitchell Robinson in a sign and trade, and then try to get Ayton here? Is that a possible? I could eat crow because I said in my last show, look, if that does happen, I'm gonna have to bow to. I think it was Mike that said that on our last show, and it looks like that can come to fruition. I'm gonna say Mo Bamba. That's another possibility because right now, it looks to me Mitchell Robinson is looking for the bag, and it seems like there's a team out there. And thanks to Prezi, he announced that trade that Dallas made. That was something that could affect the Knicks, because now can they sign the point guard they have? Jalen Brunson, can they sign him?
That was a great pickup for Dallas, by the way, guys. I don't know if you guys know how good this kid Wood is. That's a three-headed monster team right now if they retain Brunson. And if they're able to, and if they wanted to go after another big man, look out for Dallas to be a strong force in the West next season, because with Woods, Donich, and Brunson, if they're able to retain him, and Bullock, pretty solid team.
Well, I tell you, Jalen Brunson, they're gonna go over the cap, and they're gonna have to pay a tax on going over 14 million. I tend to pay an extra 15 million of the luxury tax. But if anybody can pay that, would be Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban is not gonna let Brunson go because you have to spend an extra $15 million in that salary cap. I think to sign him because he came up with the team. He plays well. Him and Luka Doncic have some kind of chemistry. You got Christian Woods in there. You have something going. So I'm thinking they're going to sign Jalen Brunson. I don't think he's coming to the Knicks. Anything is possible. I think Donovan Mitchell possibility can happen if the Knicks they do something in the draft that they're looking for. Like maybe the Knicks draft for somebody else on the 11th pick, and maybe that pick is trade bait for somebody else up in the draft, or maybe for a star like Donovan Mitchell. Who knows? Look, you got Fox available still. You have D'Lo available. If you're looking for that talent, you don't have to. I don't think you have to give a lot for Fox. I don't think, and I don't think you have to give a lot for D'Lo. I don't know, but for Donovan Mitchell with Danny Ainge, that just spells trouble. What do you think?
And absolutely. And listen, just to say, if we don't get Ivy, if we don't move up to the 4th, and we don't get AJ Griffin, and we just get, like, let's say Davis, what's his name? Johnny Davis. If we end up with somebody like Johnny Davis, remember, guys, we gave up a first-round pick for Cam Reddish. We may have somebody that's like an AJ Griffin sitting on the bench that didn't get the opportunity last season, and we may just be with our mouths open. So, you never know what we have until the preseason starts and until after the NBA draft.
Yeah, so we have Ken Ribby. Thank you. Long time no here. Salutes, chat. Hit those like buttons. Subscribe.
Salute, King Ribby. What's going on, man?
Hey, King Ribby, we're going back and forth here. If you had to take a guess, King Ribby, do you think the Knicks go all out to move up and get Ivy? And do you think Obi Toppin would be included in that deal? That's the question we're asking here. Do you sacrifice Obi Toppin to get Ivy into New York? That's the question.
Obi Toppin for the unknown, based on college, experience. We've seen what he can do in college, but you said it best, Henry, and I didn't think of that until you actually brought it to light. You said we know what we got in Obi now. We see what we can have in Obi in the next year or two. We really don't know what we got in Ivy. Are you willing to sacrifice what you know, what you project you're going to have for the unknown? That's a good question.
You're right. Look, you see the chemistry that Quickly and Obi have? Are you going to throw that away and try to get Ivy? Look, if we can do some way, like you said, a three-team trade, the question is, and the answer to my own question is that we have to get these veterans out of here. It seems like no one was Fournier. His contract is inflated. Julius Randle has a decent contract compared to all this money coming in now to the teams, but people are concerned about his chemistry with other players.
It's the PR move. It's the PR move.
And then you have Burks. You're not going to get a first-round pick for Burks. You could probably get him, like you mentioned, a second-round pick and probably an expiring contract maybe. But besides that, you're not going to get bucks for Burks. I think the guy you're going to get a lot more for is Fournier and Julius Randle. But no one wants any of these two players.
Well, Philly was offering us. I don't know if you heard this rumor. Philly was are interested in Alex Burke, and they're willing to offer the 23rd pick. It was speculated about 3.5 to 4 weeks ago. When they're so big on that for some reason on Alex Burke that they're willing to give up their first part. Listen, if that is still the case as of next week, Please take that 23rd pick for
I don't think
Alexburg.
I listen. I can almost guarantee that has to be something more than Burks going back to Philly for us to get that 23rd pick. I don't think that's. I think Philly's management people, they're not going to do that for Burks. I think maybe a Burks and maybe who knows what they want. Maybe a Nerlens Noel, possibly. I can see that.
Oh, Kemba's
I can't expiring. See Burks straight up for the 23rd pick.
Remember, also James Harden's a free agent, so they may be Kemba Walker to make the salary match, so they can have money come off the book, so they can able to sign a James Harden because he's gonna want the bag too. He's a free agent.
Yeah, Brooks only makes $10 million, and I think he's on his last year of his contract, and if that is an option year. A lot of things are going on, man. I just want the Knick organization and Knick Nation, the people who have been commenting. I appreciate you guys coming to my platform and just watching my videos and making comments. I mean, Henry and me were going back and forth. Henry, in fact, was coming up with some good deals that we can make and adding a third team. But he mentioned at the end, nobody wants Randall. It's so true. You're not hearing anything unless Leon Rose has something that we're not aware of, or something already set that Randall and probably plan B or plan C is going somewhere for some kind of pick or another player. So we have King Rebe, no OB, take Julius or Cam, etc. Not giving up on RJ, IQ, OB. Those are the keeps. The rest, let's do business. Even offer you the 2 and 3rd first for Ivy. Listen, I'm thinking the same way, King Ribby, man. Me too. Look, that nucleus he just mentioned there, and I get people commenting on my platform saying that no one is, there's no keepers, you can't expendables on a team, you can trade almost anybody in that Knick team. Nah. RJ, IQ, and OB. Those are the 3 guys that are keepers on that team. Can anybody else leave? Go? Can a McBride go? Can a Quentin Grimes go? Can a Sims go? I'm not saying they're keepers. They can be involved in some kind of trade, but I'm thinking Leon Rose is going to build a foundation. Why is Leon Rose going to draft these players and all of a sudden trade them? It just doesn't. That's Leon Rose is a whole different cat compared to all the GMs and presidents we had in the past. He's being patient. He's trying to build a team. The only problem we had last year, it was Tom Thibodeau. If you just substitute a little differently and coach a little differently, we definitely could have made the playoffs, 8th, 7th seed, but his coaching and his substitution patterns and having veteran lineups kind of killed us. And not having Rose as well for most of the season, and Nolan Noel kind of hurt us as well. But still, he didn't play Cam when he had to. He didn't play. Obi was getting like 9 minutes a game toward the end of the season when he finally got the playing time, and they sat Julius Randle on a quote thigh injury, So, can really appreciate that, bro. We are speaking of the Knicks. Okay, yeah, we're not. This is New York Knicks, the new New York Knicks, not the old kind of Knick teams that would trade so many players for one player. I don't know where you stand, King Ribby. Would you trade most of your assets to get a star player like Donovan Mitchell here, J-Lo, Fox? I don't know. I think the Knicks want to win now if you have the right coach there, and at the same time, build with the youth. You can do that. You can compete. Boston did it. Okay, Memphis did it. So many teams.
Same Knicks. I hear that. Same Knicks who started
right.
first.
This kind of irked us, King Raby, and this me and him will go back and forth. We'll be calling each other on the phone. He's starting Burks at the point guard again, and we're just like shaking our head when you have Deuce McBride just sitting there. He can showcase his talents, see what he's made of, and the starting lineup, Burks. I didn't understand most of that. I know you didn't have Kemba in the lineup, but this is how comfortable he feels with his veterans, and this is going to be the downfall of Tom Thibodeau, man. If Tom Thibodeau keeps on coaching like this, I'm telling you, I know a lot of people are not sold on Johnny Bryant.
He got a second interview with Utah this week. So we might lose Johnny Bryant. I was going to tell you that, unfortunately, and if that happens, you could kiss Donovan Mitchell dreams, even though they're a long shot goodbye, because they're good friends over there, and he would love to have Donovan Mitchell would love to have him as a coach I just don't know where we go from here. Both the guys I like, Johnny Bryant and Atkins, just got signed. So where do you go if Tom Thibodeau doesn't work out?
Listen, Leon Rose and him they have a very tight relationship. And I'm just saying, if he does not get us into the playoffs this year somehow, some way, because we have the talent on the team, it's the way he kind of develops the lineups and substitution patterns. And I'm saying, if he's by the All-Star break, we're like 10 games, 15 games out, and Leon Rose doesn't do anything, we're not going to be talking about Tibbs no more. We're going to talk about management. What is management doing about this? And Mark Jackson is still out there. We spoke that about Millie. And we spoke about Mark Jackson set up that team, the Golden State Warriors, the team they have now, basically. And he went at 50 or 51 games. He went with that team. He got fired. He got blackballed from the NBA. And then Kerr just stepped in, and he won the championship quite a few times. And they won another one yesterday. I think the fourth yesterday. Yep. Congratulations to them. But Mark Jackson, if he stood on that team, he would have won at least 2 or 3 championships with Golden State. He got a raw deal, and because of his religious beliefs and I guess maybe he was preaching the word too much, he got blackballed, and I think NBA executives got afraid. But I just hope Leon Rose, if Thibodeau does not work out, has a plan B in terms of a coach. I think Johnny Bryant would have been great. Johnny Bryant wants to coach. Given the opportunity, this guy could be a good head coach in the NBA.
For sure. And, Donovan Mitchell and him, like I said, are very close. So I would not be surprised if they offer him. And, now that it's officially the NBA season and playoffs is over. So nothing can be written as far as signings and things like that until July. But contracts can be negotiated right now. So don't be surprised if in the next week you start to see more deals come in the next week or so. Even after the draft, but nothing can be official until after July 5th, if I'm not mistaken, or the 6th.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was looking back at a player that we both like, man, and we haven't yet seen this guy. The Knicks haven't worked him out, and it's a mystery why the Knicks haven't worked out this guy. That's one of the guys I like. Terry. Jalen Terry. He can be somewhere where we can probably, if we trade out at the 11th pick and we can get maybe an Eason and a Terry, get 2 picks in return by trading out of that 11th pick, this kid could be special. But at the 11th pick, if we have a Sohan available, that would definitely be a move the Knicks should make. Johnny Davis, if he's there, I would take as well. But let me show you another player who the Knicks haven't invited for a tryout yet. I think this is a secret weapon. I said if the Knicks can't get Ivy, the Knicks have to they have to try to get this player in here. Let me see if I can find his. Let's see. Where is he? Where are you? I can't find him, but I see the interview that he had earlier, and he spoke about.
You have on the court is
that's Mathurin.
Mathurin, yeah,
which is a Thibodeau thing.
And he spoke about.
I think Tony was really interested in him.
Yeah, but I don't know why the Knicks wouldn't try him out. I think after Ivy, I think Mathurin is probably the next offensive talent that can take you to the next level, and you can put him in the second unit. He'll start playing and being part of that Knicks second unit fast, and he can move up and eventually start, and you can sit Fournier. I don't understand where the Knicks are. This is the guy we have to at all costs try to get, but I'm surprised they haven't worked them out yet. I'm hearing Sohan is going to be invited to the Knicks camp to work out, but I haven't heard anything about Mathurin. I am so surprised. What a talent. I was trying to find his game film to show his talent. But what do you think, Juby? Do you think that Mathurin should be the next guy, Sohan? I know you like Adrian Griffin, but if you had a choice of those 3 players, who would you pick?
It would be still for me, Ivy, Griffin, and then Mathurin. That's how I would go. And then after that, Uh, Between Sohan and Johnny Davis is a tough one for me. Both are really good. Both play with high intensity. Both play defense. So I'm not sure. Like I said, Johnny Davis reminds me of a young John Starks in the making. So I'm gonna kind of go with. I know everybody's gonna say
I like
Sohan
Johnny
because
Davis.
yeah, I just like there's something about Johnny Davis. So I think yeah, Johnny Davis will be my fourth, and then Sohan I'll be absolutely comfortable with. Outside of that, if I had to throw another name out there just for to throw a name, the center Duran. If you're gonna lose Mitchell Robinson, that'll be my next guy if he's available. If not,
Right.
it's a
But
bust.
this is the
straight
guy.
down.
This is the guy I want, Judy. This is the guy I want.
Trying
Check
to
and shoot,
free up Mathurin.
play.
He does exactly that. Knocks down the three-point. He makes it look.
This is the guy. He can
trying
ball.
to go back door. Mathurin receives
He's so
and
talented.
finishes.
He drives
It's
the
a team
basket
in minutes. They use him
effortlessly.
a lot.
He can shoot from the outside. He has like ice water in
on
the
the
ring.
defensive side. There's
Yeah.
Mathurin with Finke.
Jay will be fantastic, man.
I think. Look, Adrian Griffin or Mathurin, you can't go wrong. But would they still be there at 11? They have to move up to the 7th spot to get either of those two players. I'm here. Mathurin is going to go 5 and 6. That's the latest rumor and the latest draft. And Sohan probably be picked by San Antonio. Adrian Griffin might go to San Antonio. San Antonio has 3 players on their list, and one of them is Johnny Davis. We're talking about Adrian Griffin and who's the other player? I can't think of it now. But Shea says basically that the Knicks. I'm confident we're going to be wheeling and dealing. Wouldn't be surprised we move up for Ivy and keep 11. Boom.
Ooh. Shay, my
Hey,
kind
Shay.
of
Shay.
trick. I like it. I like it.
I'm going to say this, Shay. I'm going to say this. Shay, if that happens somehow, some way, wow. Yes, I'll go for that. I'm going to remember you.
Yep.
Definitely, because
We'll definitely come on here and we'll definitely
Without
give
a
you the
doubt.
credit and shout you out. You
I
spoke
think
it until
Leon-
you
I
like.
think she's right. I think Leon Rose is up to something, but we don't know what it is. But now there's so many suitors for Ivy. Wow. That would be a home run deal. You keep the 11, you pick Ivy, and then you could probably pick a Sohan, a Johnny,
Davis.
Adrian Griffin, probably Johnny Davis. That would be a home run draft for the Knicks. Thank you, Shay, and kudos to you for coming up with that positive kind of energy that we need here in Knick Nation.
She spoke it into the universe. Let's get
That's it. That's what she's doing. Cully, welcome. Knicks so focused on Ivy, they'll mess around and miss Mathurin.
Ooh, you're right.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And somebody mentioned that in one of the comments on my platform. And you're so right, man. And that's why you have to watch out. If you know you can't get Ivy, you have to go, I think, for the second best player the Knicks can acquire offensively. He plays defense. He's just a dog offensively, man.
Then you have to move up to the 7th.
Ice water. I don't think he's going to be there at 7, man.
I think so. I think Sharp is still going to be put over him. And believe it or not, I think, and I know you guys are going to think I'm nuts, I think Griffin is going to be picked before him. I don't think Griffin's going to be past the 7th pick. I think Griffin is the 8th pick. Griffin, to me, is completely gone. So I don't know, man.
Knick
It's gonna be
Nation,
tough.
give me your opinion. What the Knicks should do if they can't move up. Who do they pick at 11? Or if they do move up, who are the Knicks going to get? Is it going to be Mathurin? Is it going to be Ivy? Is it going to be Adrian Griffin if they move up? Let me know, Knick Nation.
Or Johnny Davis,
It
or
happens all the
Sohan.
time, and it's true. The Knicks are always one spot away from the player. Okay, they got Barrett. I'm not saying Barrett's a bad player, but they missed Ja by 1 pick. Same thing with Curry. Missed them by 2 slots where they could have moved up easily that year and try to get them, but they stood still. I don't know who they picked, but it can't be anybody good because they're not with the Knicks. So
I forgot his name. I was talking about him the other day. Oh,
Cully is right. We do that all the time. We miss our guy, and they end up being all-stars or superstars. And we said could have, would have, and it happened with Donovan Mitchell. I mean, he got drafted 15. We were drafting at 8. And who did we pick? Do you remember who we picked?
I didn't want to talk about it.
Was it Frank Nicolatina?
It was Frank. Yeah, it was Frank.
We picked Frank Nicolatina, the Frenchman.
Yeah.
And was it Frank?
It was either Frank or Knox. It was one of those two.
Probably Knox. Yeah.
I wanted Michael Porter Jr. I know he was hurt the first year and he sat out the whole year, but that second year he came back. I was so aggravated and upset, and I know he got hurt again. But that kid is something special too, man.
Yeah. But you know something? He's injured again. So good thing we're injury prone. So he had like a good year and a half where he looked impressive, man. So Shay's now saying, I think we can't move up. Leon will move back.
Yeah.
I think I think that may happen. I think we'll try to move out at 11, get 2 extra picks, try to go get 2 other players like an Eason, possibly a Branham. If you get an Eason and Branham, I think that is great for the Knicks. Eason, that defensive specialist, Branham, that offensive looking star offensively. He looks good. His defense is a lot to be desired, but he'll work on that with Tibbs on. But he's 18 years old. He is so naive. Like, he has all this talent and he plays so effortlessly. He doesn't know how good he really is. So
I'll even take Williams from Duke, Zenray, since Mitchell Robinson is going to be leaving possibly. I'll even take Williams, the center from Duke. If we move, I like him, me personally.
Williams, I won't touch Williams.
You won't touch him?
I'll touch before Williams. I won't touch Williams. But Cully says, Frank shaking my head. Yeah, that was the era of
that's Zenray's boy. I was arguing with him for years about him.
Defensively, they destroyed like 2 players the Knicks destroyed because their coaching and their management was horrible. When we had who was that guy from the
Frank and Kevin Knox?
Who was the coach for the Knicks? Phil Jackson. Yeah. So Knox and Nicolatina got a raw deal, man. They just got destroyed. Their confidence, they won't coach properly. You put them now into this Knicks system with these coaches and the staff, I think they can get developed better. But the question is, with Tom Thibodeau play them? That's the only question. My question mark is with the coach, not with the organization and their coaching staff. It's just with the head coach in Tibbs.
Facts.
Shez says, Frank cigarettes.
Cigarettes.
Yeah, a lot of people were smoking cigarettes asking, how did we draft this guy? Good point, Shay. Eddie Kerr. Wow. We picked the year we missed Curry. Okay.
That's right.
You educated us. Thank you, Eddie. We picked Jordan Hill. I remember that. Where's Jordan Hill now?
Not in the NBA.
And on top of that, what do you do? Play 2 years for the Knicks and it was awful. It was awful.
Yeah. But
I mean, look, if you look at the Knicks drafting, that's what I like about Leon Rose. We have a plan with Leon Rose. He is the guy that I trust. The coaching is what bothers me. I think the friendship this Leon Rose has with Tibbs is, look, it goes deep. But after that, business is business. If you can't get this team, get them to the playoffs, which they can't. They can get to the playoffs. I mean, there's no excuse. And if Julius Randle's still in the team and Obi's still in the team, wow. Oil and water don't mix. I don't know how they're going to do it, but Thibodeau cannot just play Obi 9 minutes, and I'll tell you why. If he only plays 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes a game, which I don't think is going to happen, this is Obi's last year coming up. He won't sign with the Knicks as long as Julius Randle is here. And it also affects R.J. Barrett, because now R.J. Barrett's saying, who's the leader of this team? Now, out of the respects, because Julius Randle's here, what are they going to do? They're going to step back and let Julius Randle do that backing up to low post moves and fadeaways. And look, I think we need to move on from definitely Julius Randle. We have to find suitors for Nolan Noel somehow, some way. We have to definitely get suitors for Burks. And Kemba Walker is like, we add that on a deal somewhere, because if we don't do that, nobody really wants him. So we're probably going to end up dropping him at the end of the season. So Shay, Eddie, Cully, King Ribby, I appreciate you guys commentating.
Absolutely.
And it's important that we know. And I'm going to tell you what I like. This is the comment of the evening in New York. Shay, I am confident we're going to be wheeling and dealing. Wouldn't be surprised if we move up for Ivy and keep 11.
Boom.
This is what I'm talking about. If that happens, Shay, like I said, we're talking into existence, to the universe. I think that's possible, but a part of me is saying there's too many teams out there wheeling and dealing as well. They can probably offer more than the Knicks. This is all a waiting game, man. It's all a waiting game. Yeah.
Well, listen,
wheeling and dealing. Let's see if they don't. I'm laughing. I'll laugh with you, Cully, because right now there doesn't seem any wheeling and dealing. I hear a lot of talk. Look what Dallas did the night before. You know, they made a trade. I mean, the Knicks are still in the dark in the sense they're not letting no one know what we're doing. And if the Knicks spectacularly does something special, which I think they're going to do something special. I don't know about getting Ivy, but I think we're going to pull something. Mathurin, Adrian Griffin, Sohan, Johnny Davis. If you can get players of that caliber in here, and if you get two of those players that I mentioned, out of those 4 or 5 players by trading out of your 11th pick, somehow, some way, a Branham in here, Eason, I think the Knicks are really building for the future. But if they come out of this draft with a Dyson Daniels, a Ty Washington, I'm not going to be a happy camper. I know that Tom Thibodeau is enamored by Dyson Daniels and Ty Washington, which is that Kentucky connection. But Ty Washington, please stay away from those 2 players. I'll be a happy guy. Cully, once again, if we move up and still keep 11, that's dope. But he's it. Is it competition and teams are starting to make moves a week in advance? This is what I'm talking about, Cully. This is what I'm talking about. Other teams are already. We don't know what the Knicks are doing yet. They haven't even worked out Mathurin and Sohan. I don't understand that. Maybe they're waiting later. Maybe they're trying to tell NBA kind of a bluff that we're not interested in these guys. Look, if you're not interested in Mathurin and Sohan, something is not right. Because if we see the talent and people talk highly about them, maybe they see something that we don't see. Look, Mathurin should be the next guy on that list after Ivy. Personally, that's my personal opinion. And then Sohan is a defensive specialist, can guard any position. His only weak point is he can't shoot from the outside very well. But he can back up Obi Toppin. If Obi starts and you get rid of Randall, you can start him as a backup to Obi. Sohan is what a talent on that kid. And that kid will develop his jump shot. Good point there, Cully. Teams have better offers than us right now. No, I agree. I think Leon Rose is playing that poker, man. And I think he may lose that hand of poker if you lose Ivy and you lose Mathurin. Shay, Deuce, Ivy, RJ, Obi, and Zion. Wow, that's a lamb of the future, man. I like Zion. If he stays off that eating binge, I like him a lot, man. Ivy, you know how I feel about Ivy. And then Deuce, man, and RJ and Obi. That's a great lineup, Shay. If that comes to fruition, we're definitely going to have to invite you to it. If that comes to fruition, we're going to invite you over on the show live. And we're going to bow to you, man. Really bow to you. In fact, I'll give you one of my shirts, caps, and face coverings for just that happening, man. I promise you that much. But Zion is going to take some work to get. I think it's last year of his contract. And I know he's interested in playing with RJ Barrett. So that's not out of the realm. I think the Knicks can sign him. And maybe that's why you have to get rid of Randall. Because, look, you're going to have too many power forwards. And then where Obi's going to play? I think Obi, you can move him over to the 5 for a while. I don't know how effective you can play in the 5, but his defense is not quite there. I don't think this is the problem with our coach. He's not going to play Obi in the 5 too long. Defensively, he won't be able to handle it. But having Zion, that's some powerful stuff. Shay says, I'll start packing now. I'll pack with you. Believe me, we'll start packing if a deal like that comes where we have a lineup like that. We get an Ivy, and then next year we get a Zion. And then we have Deuce McBride develop through our G League games, Summer League game this year, and becomes watch Deuce McBride, ladies and gentlemen. Summer League coming up. I'm watching it only because of Deuce McBride. He's going to put on a show. Watch. He's going to average like 20 points a game, probably 9 assists, and probably dish out like 6-7 assists. This kid is talented. You're going to watch him. You thought Quickly and Obi dominated last year. You're going to see what this kid is made of, Deuce McBride.
Only thing I can say is Landry Fields got GM position, so congratulations to him. And him being a former Knick, I hope he gives us a call and says, let's make a trade. I'll be involved in your 3-team trade. We'll take Julius Randle over here, and that's how we make it happen. So that's what I'm gonna say as far as that.
Well, I'm gonna show another video of another player. That the Knicks, you like him as. Let me see if I can find the video. You like him as well. I think it's not here, but this is the player that the Knicks have stashed, and people forget who we really have when it comes to point guards. So let's see if you guys know who this player is.
During a Knicks game this year, with Tom Thibodeau sitting courtside,
Summer League last year,
and not hearing somebody yell, New York Knicks front office. Nice little pull-up on the baseline, a little bit strong, and New York clear. Quickly, good show and go, kicks it out for 3. Holder a little bit too strong and quickly leads numbers for the Knicks, directing traffic. Arcobatis knocks down the 3 ball.
Great job, and that's quickly, because
This
if you
is
notice,
what we're talking about, Juby. We're talking about point guards, Ty Washington. We're talking about Dyson Daniels. Knick Nation, we don't need a point guard. We don't need a point guard. So this illusion, Mark Berman is a big Dyson Daniels guy. I don't know why he loves Dyson Daniels. He can't shoot. We mentioned this before in our previous show. Deuce McBride averages 28 points a game, almost 9 assists, and like 5 rebounds or 4 rebounds a game when he was there. And I think Daniels was only averaging like 11 points. I think his assists were up more, but 11 points. If you only score 11 points in the G League, what does that tell you about your offensive game? You don't have anything. Why would the Knicks bring a player like that or draft a player, which I think is a big mistake? I'm here. He may go 7, 8, 9, or 10 to Washington, or even San Antonio. Let them have it. I want no part of it. If we move up to the 7th position and we pick up Dyson Daniels, I'm not going to be happy. That should be an area for Adrian Griffin or Mathurin. I even take a Sohan at 7. But to take a Dyson Daniels and then later in the draft, the Knicks move out of the 11th pick, like Shea or who was mentioned, Cully was saying, and we move out of that 11th position and we pick up other players. Don't pick up Ty Washington. We don't need a point guard. Yeah, we have one already, and what we saw quickly, Juby. And we already have something in Deuce McBride that Tibbs hasn't even given him a chance to do it. So what do you think in a point guard situation? Now, if we get a J-Lo, wow.
Jenny from the
D-Lo, if we get D-Lo here, J-Lo, where did I get J-Lo from? If we get a D-Lo here, or if we get a Fox, that's something different. These guys have proven the league, and we have to give some assets for that. But I think we have our point guards for the future. What do you think, Juby? Should the Knicks entertain any point guards in the draft?
No, not in the draft. Definitely not. I think we're fine as far as what we have now. If the draft doesn't work out, when I mean doesn't work out, that we end up with like a Johnny Davis or something like that, then I would entertain a D'Lo from Minnesota, a Fox. And if not, I still wouldn't be too upset because remember, we got Quickly, like you said, we got Deuce. And don't forget, I mentioned in the last show, I know he's been out for a while, and I know he's not the same anymore, but we still got Derrick Rose to work with that second unit in limited time because, eventually his knees break down.
Francisco, welcome. Welcome to Zen Ray Sports TV. He says, Kings pick Ivy, then trade for what they need. Sounds good to me. Look, right now, from what we heard, me and Juby, and I think a lot of people heard already, Ivy does not want to go to Sacktown. That's one of the reasons I was asking Scooby-Doo in our last show. He is from Sacramento. Why wouldn't Sacramento pick Ivy, a talent like that? Now I know the reason why. He hasn't worked out for them. And he doesn't
want to work out.
He doesn't want to work out for them, and he just want to go there. So he's using his power a little bit to saying, I don't want to go to Sacktown. So I don't think the Kings are going to pick. I think Deegan Murray is the guy they're going to pick in the 4th position or trade out of the position because there's a lot of suitors that want to move up. Listen, Sacktown is sitting very pretty. There are about 5-6 teams that want to move up, to pick Ivy, including our New York Knicks. But thank you for your comment there, Francisco. But the Kings want no part of Ivy right now because Ivy wants no part of them. So thank you for your comment, sir. Shay, thank you. Can't rebuild and develop with veterans getting the majority of playing time. It's counterproductive. The kids need consistent minutes to grow.
Preach
I agree.
Preach it, Shay.
But I appreciate that, Shay. You want to make a comment on that, Juby?
No, Shane hit it right. You can't. You have to play the young guys. You got to develop the young guys. We've been fighting on this all last season, but Shane, you need to contact Tom Thibodeau.
That's what I was about to say.
At any circle, well, not at any circle. I don't want you to get in trouble. But if you have a way to contact him and get it through his head, stop playing Alex Burke 40 minutes a game. Stop starting Alex Burke at point guard, and play Deuce McBride or quickly as your starting point guard. We'll be okay. We don't need to go out there and give up the house for a point guard or offer $115 million for Brunson when we have talent already on this team. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
guys.
well said and well written by Shay. Look, Tom Thibodeau is, for me, people saying Randall is the Achilles heel. No, the Achilles heel is the head coach, is Tom Thibodeau. If there's any way you can package Tom Thibodeau and Randall in a package deal somewhere, listen, I'll be the happiest man on earth. And I'm not saying that Randall has no talent. He's a 2010 guy. He could be a second, third option anywhere in the NBA, and he will be effective. And we'll be saying, wow, we had Julius Randle. That's how good he is. But he cannot handle, as we've seen in last year, he can't handle the New York pressure. Like Juby says, you have to be thick-skinned, to play here. And I think like an Ivy, a Mathurin, these guys get it. A Quickly, they get it. An Obi, they get it.
RJ.
Like they built RJ, they get it. They built for New York. Unfortunately, Randall, not bashing him in any way, 2010 guy. You don't get a lot of 2010 guys in the NBA that has that kind of talent that Randall has. It's just that his negative vibe, and it's the way he goes about things with his players, with the referees, with his own coaches, with the opposing players. It's a little out of hand. That negative vibe, Shay has this positive. That's what I like about Shay. She has this positive vibe about building this organization or this foundation. The only way you're going to build that is by getting the negative entities out of this team and get them out. And Tom Thibodeau, I'm telling you, if Tom Thibodeau was not good friends with Leon Rose, he wouldn't have a job now. The owner and I think World Wide West wanted him out of here because he was not doing right by the players. Cam Reddish, like Prezi was saying and Mac was saying on our last show, you give up a number one pick and you don't use them? For me, like I've been saying, that's a fireable offense. But since Leon Rose is his best friend, he was not going to fire his buddy. He was going to give him another year. And hopefully he learns from this. That's what we pray and hope. Let's get some young assets here, a player that can take over and dominate, a star, a future star, which my future stars are Mathurin and Ivy that can turn out to be superstar. The long shot stars, who's still 18 years of age, Branham, he's a talent to be reckoned with. Eason, a defensive specialist that Tibbs would like. Dalen Terry, another guy who 2-3 years from now, if you trade out the 11th, if you get an Eason and a Terry or Eason and a Branham, you've done your job. Maybe you can't get a Mathurin. Maybe you can't get an Ivy. But if you trade out of the 11th pick, Juby, and you get 2 other picks and you materialize it with young talent that has an upside, then the Knicks are making some strides. But the thing you have to do is get the negative entity out of here. Julius has to go. Kemba has to go. Brooks have to go. If you get rid of those 3 players, I'm happy. Fournier is going to be hard to move. And Rose, nobody wants Rose. You can only play him 20, 25 minutes a game. If the Knicks have a plan for that, they can do that. But the Knicks have to get this youth running. Thank you, Shay, for your great comment there and your inspiration. And we love you today. Francisco, how is it that we see that the kids have to play for them to grow, but not the front office? And that's a great question, Francisco.
Contact Tom Thibodeau. Yeah.
Look,
Email him. Tweet. Hashtag Tom Thibodeau, and let him know what we all have been feeling and what I'm pretty sure he knows based on Nick Nation, because Nick Nation are one of the most intelligent fans, and not just Nick Nation. All NBA fans are intelligent fans, and
but
we can all be.
New York has the edge, man.
Of
When it
course,
comes
of
to
course.
know-how, when it comes to love of their team and what they want done, we can get probably a group of 10 New Yorkers or Nick fans, somewhere anywhere who are Nick Nation. Put them in the front office. Maybe they'll debate back and forth, but they'll get it right. And I think that's what Leon Rose is doing. The only thing Leon Rose didn't get right was the head coach.
That's right.
I'll say it. He's done everything right until bringing Tibbs in here. After the performance of Tibbs last year, you have to scratch your head and ask yourself questions. And I understand Leon Rose giving him another chance. I do understand it. Let's produce. Let's get his fellow guy or veterans out of here, like Randall and Burks, because who mentioned it? Was it Cully or someone else mentioned he started Burks at point guard.
Yeah.
Every time. Deuce McBride averaged like 3-4 minutes a game if he got lucky, and that was toward the second half of the season. So Francisco, that's a great question. I think the front office is okay. Thibodeau is the problem. I think the coaches are fine. I think the management in Worldwide West, and Leon Rose, they're okay, and their management team is okay. The problem for me, and I think a lot of Nick Nation would agree, is the head coach. Thank you, Francisco.
Well said.
Francisco again, trade vets, keep kids, and picks third year of rebuilding. Okay, so you trade the vets, you keep the kids. I agree with that. And this is the third year of rebuilding. Okay, listen, it's a third year of rebuilding, but you have enough talent to get into the playoffs. They did it because Julius Randle, listen, Barrett right now should be the leader of that team, and Barrett's only going to get better. If Julius Randle stays, which I hope he doesn't, I think Julius Randle can have a hell of a year if he keeps his mind straight. I think we could get into the playoffs. But last year was a mess. I think the negativity of Randle, the coaching of Tibbs, just put this team down to the bottom. And I think Shea or someone mentioned in our last show, I think it was Shea, that the Knicks had a lot of leads going into the third quarter. And the substitutions by Tibbs destroyed this team. We lost so many games down the stretch. So I do understand what Shea and Francisco is saying. Thank you, Francisco. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate everyone who's commented and involved with the show. I just want to let you know I have merchandise out there. I'll leave that information. But to Mike and Prezi, I know you're not here on the show. You won our cap and our shirt logo from the prize for our 1-year anniversary. You can contact me at Zenray TV at Gmail or Zenray at Zenray TV at Twitter, so we can make arrangements for you to get your prize. I just want to thank Juby. I want to thank Shay, Francisco, Cully, Eddie. I want to thank King Ribby and everyone who got involved and everybody who's been commenting on my platform. You guys have been great. Juby, do you want to before we depart?
I'm just gonna say, guys, you know that the NBA draft is Thursday. You know, if any breaking news comes out, me or Zenray will come on here and we'll definitely bring you guys the breaking news if something happens that is a definite. Any rumors, we'll discuss it. We're gonna do a show during the NBA draft. We don't have the exact
Thursday. It's gonna be Thursday, a half hour before the NBA draft. We'll post up all the information.
Yeah, we're me and him are going to talk until then, and I just want to tell you guys, it's exciting time, but we'll see what happens. A lot of trades can happen, a lot of rumors are going to start to come about. So enjoy your day, be safe. Wanted to say thank you for everybody for commenting. Thank you for Zenray for having me on Zenray Sports TV, and as always, family above everything, guys.
And this is the comment of the day. We have to follow Shay's lead. We are confident we're going to be wheeling and dealing. Wouldn't be surprised if we move up, get Ivy, and keep 11.
Boom.
Boom. And I say that existence put it out there to the universe. And Knick Nation, never give up. Never give up, knowing that the best is yet to come. With love, peace, and gratitude. Thank you, everyone. Grateful for all the comments and everyone who's subscribing and thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it, guys. Zenray out. Juby?
Good night, guys. Thank you, man. Peace, brother.
Zenray out, Juby.
Never give up. Never give up. Knowing that the best is yet to come with love, peace, and gratitude.